Hi, welcome back to Kristina Hagan Hello, welcome back to Kristina Hagan Live. I'm here live with Todd Braley. Todd Braley is currently in Colorado, here in the United States, and he's the award-winning director. And we have segment one out there if you didn't catch it, so you can catch it on YouTube under Todd Braley, Kristina Hagan Live, Kristina Hagan. You can find it there, and Todd has given us some great information from his history to what he's looking for in an actor, what he appreciates and doesn't appreciate, very frankly, on us actors, actresses when we submit and what we should be submitting. And he gave us great information on the China White, which is the movie that he's currently in production on, and he has cast roles, and he has mentioned that he has still roles available. And so we came back for segment two because we know that Todd already has a lot of people, a lot of fans following him, and we have various questions that they would like answered, and Todd has been so gracious to come back with us for segment two and to answer some of these questions. I have here Arlene, who has been cast already in China White. Arlene, would you like to come in and say hello?
Can you see me?
No, you have to go all the way to...
Hello.
There's Arlene.
In the raw, in the flesh, no makeup, you know. So
I did that the other day.
Yeah, you get to see what I really look like.
Yeah, this is the Kristina Hagan Live is all about being real, and we appreciate you being real, Arlene,
yeah, you
and
want
doing
real
that.
people, Todd. Well, here you go.
Yeah. And Todd's been real with us, and we appreciate that because it will help not only us, the people that are watching, but it helps us to really get an insight of who Todd is. And when we watch the movie China White, we're going to have that insight of the man behind it. So we'll take. Are you ready for question number one, Todd?
Sure.
Okay. Arlene's going to read it to us, and I don't know if you're going to. Are they going to be anonymous, or are you going to say where they're coming from?
I was going to say their names, but I think I'm going to be anonymous this time. And but we know you're there. We love you. And so
Don't
anyway.
say their names.
Why don't we say their first name? How's that? Their first name.
Okay.
Yeah, unless they told you not to be anonymous, then I would say it's okay to say their first name.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that said that they just rather not their names not be said. So,
okay.
So I'll ask Monique's first because boy, she was all over the question thing. She probably texted me 30 minutes before we ever got started. So we got Monique, and she said this is her question. She said, at what point did you decide that Hollywood wasn't for you, Todd?
Basically, after I got blacklisted because it was actually that story I was telling you guys when we were waiting for the other segment to load. I got really turned off by all the backstabbing, and I got really turned off by the way everybody tries to get their gigs. To me it's crap. I'm turned off by it. I don't want to be a part of it. I want to make movies, but I don't want to make them Hollywood's way, because Hollywood's way is CG, and lately CG and remakes, and to me, we need some realism back in our movies. We don't, I haven't seen a good movie come to the theater since The Help. And even before that, I can't remember a good movie. I like The Town a lot, the Ben Affleck's movie. But outside of that, there hasn't been anything good. I watched The Hunger Games last night. Oh my God!
I just rented that on at the Red Box because I have not seen it. And,
if my girlfriend Angie hadn't been sitting with me, kind of like giving me background on it, I would have, when the movie was over, I would have just been like, huh, okay, whatever, and that was it, because it was just there was no character. You didn't give a shit about anybody. You didn't care about anybody, and to me, that's not what a movie should be about. I mean, if a character dies, you should be, feel some kind of emotion. You should, you need to know these characters. You need to know who these people are, and to give us remakes, and and I don't have a problem with superhero movies. Superhero movies are what they are, but I mean, outside of that, trying to make some dramas or I mean, even a horror movie. Giving us a horror movie that isn't something that hasn't already been done.
Right. Well, we have the thriller that Arlene and I are actually in Predatory Lender. So that's a thriller coming out. That's a great script. I've already read it, and so stay tuned for that. And also, just really quickly, because I know that one day I'm going to be either in the theater or at Redbox, buying or watching China White, because I just mentioned, Michael, my friend from 2009, that he had his dream, and today I saw it at Redbox. It's Smitty with Peter Fonda, and so it's about a little doggy movie, and so I've seen dreams come true, Kristina Hagan Live viewers, and they will come true. You just need to do what you're doing, and you never give up, and you have the faith, and your hope and dreams alive. You can't leave it up to Hollywood. Forget that.
Yeah, because Hollywood, they're too scared to take chances anymore, and it's unfortunate, because they could really really be doing well along those lines if they would just take those chances. Take the chances on us, not take the chances on stuff that's already been done and rehashing old shit. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to swear or not.
Well, yeah, no. One of my first ones, I said that we have to keep it real, so that's okay. But Todd, I didn't ask you in segment one, but we're going to go on to your next question. But I need to ask you, are you looking for, what kind of support are you looking for still? Is there still ways that people can support or be a part of the project from the back end?
Yeah, well, if you'd like to get in on any kind of financial support, contact Suzanne Breitenbach on Facebook. She's one of the admins on the China White fan page. Talk to her, and then also Dr. Melissa Cottle. Contact her also if you'd like to be a part of it. If you'd like to be a part of the acting part of it, or even crew, talk to Bill Murray on the China White fan page, or talk to any one of the admins. We've got several admins on the page.
Yeah.
And Arlene, aren't you one of the admins?
I am not. I just send you a lot of people.
Yeah, send me a lot of people. Maybe you.
Hey, that works. That works.
Our Southern California admin.
Yes. And that's what it's about, is all, bringing good counsel together, good people together, keeping the circle strong. Now, Dr. Melissa, you mentioned her. She's from Keystro Killer, correct? The series Keystro Killer. Yes, I met her. I met her down in Los Angeles. Wonderful woman. Wonderful. Good luck.
She's a great lady.
Yeah, good luck with that.
A lot of behind the scenes that Dr. Melissa is helping us with. I can't talk about a lot of it right now, but
sure.
She's been doing a lot of work for us. So
yes, she's incredible. Yeah, I saw her flavor. She's incredible, and I was very privileged to meet her as well. So let's go back to question number 2. And Arlene, can you read question number 2?
Well, this one's anonymous. They want to know that if this is that you got a China White fan page and you got a China White casting and reel page, and they want to know if that's how you're going to be casting all of your future films.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, to me, it'd be stupid not to go that route. We have so much stuff at our disposal now with the internet. To me, independent filmmakers should take advantage of every single thing that's on there. If I don't get a theatrical release with China White, I'm not going to cry about it, because there's only 300 other places on the internet that you're going to be able to see this movie. So
right on.
Yeah. So to me, it ain't about. It's not about getting in the movie theater anymore. And in all honesty, as much as I am a fan of film, we're not going to have movie theaters in 10 years. Period. In fact, I'm even thinking it's going to be less than that. We're not going to have any movie theaters here, because if people can order the movie at home, they're going to do it. If they can get it for $6.99, $7.99 on their television, what's the point of going and standing in line? Except for those few purists who have to see it on the huge big screen. But the TVs are so big now that you're almost halfway there. So.
Yeah. Well, guess what, Todd? Most of my viewers, about 80%, guess where they're watching me on? Their mobiles.
On the computer.
Their mobiles. Their phones. That's like
Right.
instant entertainment. No one needs to TiVo. Yeah. See? So you can watch Kristina Hagan live. You're going to be maybe possibly watching China White on your telephone soon. So yeah, so that's the new age.
Just watch it. To me, it's not about getting it in the theater. You know, it's about getting people to see it. And with, like I said, with what we have at our disposal, it's ludicrous for anybody to think that you have to get a theatrical release to get any kind of notoriety or get any kind of to make any kind of money,
or to even enjoy something.
Exactly, as long as you can enjoy it. You know, I mean, I have a television series that I'm putting together right now called Surviving the Undead. It's kind of a little bit along the lines of like The Walking Dead right now. But people were like, well, how are you going to get that on television? I said, who cares? I said, Amazon streaming.
Nice.
That's it. It's a done deal. I mean, you send it to them, and if they want to, if people want to get DVDs of it, all I have to do is send them put together a cover in Photoshop. They'll create the DVDs, they'll print it out, and they'll send it out for me. Now, okay, so the split is 60-40. They get 60, I get 40. But it's going out.
Right.
What does it matter?
What does it matter?
I'd rather you buy it and be able to watch it on Amazon streaming or send away for a DVD and me get 40% than have to sit and try and shop something around for years and years and years to get it on the garbage networks, which I consider ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. I mean, they're all, even the TV shows suck these days. They're not even coming up with good TV shows.
Todd, you're keeping it real. I love it. I love it. On Kristina Hagan Live, and that's what we're about. It's real. I love it. So let's go with question number 2.
Well, actually, we're number 3.
Oh, number 3.
Yeah, but
Sorry,
I want to give a shout out to Kennedy Maranta, who's listening in.
Hey,
So,
Kennedy.
yeah.
He's my friend.
Yeah, and he's been tweeting us like crazy. So thanks for the support.
Shut up. Hey, tell that guy Todd to shut up.
So anyway, the next question is what about future movie projects? What do you have in the works after China White?
After China White, I have a few projects. Obviously, I have Surviving the Undead. That one right now, we've got episode 1 shot. We've got 12 more episodes to shoot. That's a big deal because that actually was developed by my oldest daughter and my soon-to-be stepdaughter, Jillian Braley and Taylor Leonard. They actually came up with this idea of shooting a series with their iPhones, so it was kind of all first person during
Good idea.
That's a first, yeah.
Yeah. So what we did was they shot 4 episodes of it, and then it kind of fell off. You know, kids get on a roll and they're like, yeah, but then all of a sudden they just sometimes they'll kind of lose steam and it goes off to the side. Well, I picked it back up and decided to run with their idea.
Nice.
And create another drama-driven show, about a dysfunctional family who gets caught in the middle of, what could be considered the zombie apocalypse, but we created it not out of radiation and everything else. We created it out of the whole. We took it from something that's current, the bath salts thing, because of what happened with the guy that was eating that guy's face. It's like, that's not too far from the truth.
Oh, so let me just tell you. Let me just tell my viewers, those especially down in LA, California, and I know about the rest of the world. But please do not take any pills that anyone gives you. They're like half this and half that, and no, it can fry your brain. So please, I mean, this is like, keeping it real. But I have witnessed it firsthand. Please be smart. Don't, when they said about the Spanish fly and your parents said, don't do the Spanish fly. The pills, no. Just stay away from it, please. Okay, go ahead. Question number 4.
That's the idea off of that.
Okay.
That you have this dysfunctional family and how they have to learn to come together during this crazy time that things are going on and people are being killed. So that's one thing that we're going to try and get finished. We're going to have to stop doing before China White, and then pick it back up afterwards. I also have a short film that I did a few years ago with Whitney Money, who's going to be playing Laurie Mercer in China White, called Silence. It was about a woman who was raped and what happened, the effects of what happened to her because of it. And she and I developed a full-length feature version of it. And basically, it's another one of those dramas that has that takes that premise of a young woman that's raped and how the rape itself affects everybody around her. Versus, and some people that read the script were like, well, how come you didn't go out and try and find the rapist? dude, the story ain't about the rapist, okay? This ain't CSI, okay? So the whole idea behind it was just to show the effects of what happens when somebody is raped, what happens to the family, what happens to friends, what happens to boyfriends. You know,
it changes. It changes someone's life. People don't realize that when something like that. Like I was just talking to a friend of mine, and you know, she said that she will not let her child spend the night over over their friend's house, and she says, I will not take that risk that something like that can happen, that the brother, someone that's not all there, or they make a mistake, they're drunk, and they do something to a child that affects them for the rest of their life. And so there is so much truth to that, where you're going to bring that out in your short film project.
Well, I want to throw something in on there, because I'm going to open up myself to the world real quickly. When I was 9 years old and 12 years old, I had 2 attempted molestations on me, and fortunately they did not succeed.
Thank God.
And at 8 years old, it was 8 or 9 and 12, and they were close friends of the family.
There we go. So yeah, so I always, you parents just go with your intuition, I mean, I know that a lot of people have raised their children with a 1, 2, 3 timeout, and but I later found out that who was writing those books was the hippies. So I mean, come on. So there's a lot, there's a lot of when your choice and blah blah blah. So I just say, go with your intuition. But let's go back to where are we at, Todd? Where are we question with number 4? Or
okay, well, this is mine. We're at number 4, so this is my question. I want the privilege of asking one. I'm wondering, are you going to come up with a website for the movie? A lot of movies have websites.
Are we going to build a website for the movie? Your voice cut out.
Yes, that's what was her question. Are you going to build a website for China
No,
White?
I'm not going to build a website for the movie, because to me it's a waste of money. We built a website for the original China White when we did it back in 2007. And trying to get anybody to go to a website is, it's almost like a full-time job in itself. To me, the Facebook thing is actually better than having a website. There's just so much more interaction, and you can get automatic. You can get people's responses right at that particular time. And to me, it's a waste of money to build a website for a film. It's just Facebook is perfect.
Yeah, and you also might want to, Todd, sorry to interrupt. You also might want to check Chatisfaction.com. Chatisfaction is a great little. It doesn't do quite the selling and advertising of our info too. It's called Chatisfaction.com, and you can actually make your own cliche. I think the cliche, so you can create your own cliche there for China White or anything else. It's pretty cool. Okay, now question number.
I have 2 questions that are kind of similar. One's kind of anonymous, and the other one is Monique, wonderful Monique. But anyway, they're kind of similar, but basically it's. What have you found to be the most challenging thing about filmmaking?
Honestly, I mean, trying to find backers. I mean, that's trying to find money to me these days is the most challenging thing. Just because, everybody talks about, well, you don't have any names in your movie, or we don't know who you are. You're not a named director. Well, okay, neither was Ridley Scott before they found him. Neither was Martin Scorsese before they found him.
Neither was anybody.
Nobody
was anybody until,
How does, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
How do you expect us to get out there and get known? And all the directors out there and other filmmakers know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, how do you expect us to get known? How do you expect, nobody is willing to take a chance anymore. Right. There's only a small percentage of people out there that want to take any kind of risks anymore. And yeah, we're talking about a lot of money. And yes, I get that. Yes, I understand that. Yeah. But you know what? I've been making movies since I was, literally, honestly making movies since I was about 11 years old.
Yay.
That's the next question, so I'll get to that.
I'm not stupid. There's things maybe I don't have a grasp on. Like, I'm not really good with the accounting part of filmmaking. Okay, well, that's fine. That's why you have a production accountant.
Yeah,
that's why you have other people to handle that stuff.
Right.
To me, it's like, I want to make a movie. I got a movie to make. I want people to see this movie. That's how come all this stuff blew up, because I decided that I was tired of chasing people down. I was tired of trying to beg people for money on Indiegogo and Kickstarter. I was tired of asking people, hey man, do you want to help us out? I just thought, you know what? I'm all done begging people for money. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to make Surviving the Undead. I'm going to make China White. I don't care if I have any money or not. I figured what'll happen is, if I don't have any money, the people who honestly and truly want to be a part of it will fall into line, or not fall into line, but everybody will just fall into place.
Exactly.
And it started that way.
Yeah.
And because it started that way, then the funding thing kind of came into play. It's still up in the air and it's still up in play, but and I've told people, I said, I'm going to make this movie with or without the money. I said, you're either with me or you're not.
Right.
So
I mean,
if we don't get the money, I'll hitchhike to freaking New Jersey to be able to make this movie. I don't care. It's to me, it's about the movie. It's not about the money.
Well, it's passion, and it's good old fashioned. You can do trade these days. Someone can just say, well, hey, I want to be a part of it because I really enjoy, being the sound mixer or the visual effects. And I've run into a lot of people, with Predatory Lender, that I'm the co-star in that one with Jim Meyer, who is the writer. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but and trust me, the circles that we're in is everybody that loves and is very passionate about this film, and that's why it's growing and doing so well.
And that's what's happened with this China White fan group. I mean, I can't even get a handful of people in the town that I live in.
Maybe that's why we connected.
to support me, and not financially, just to support me and commit to something.
Right.
I mean, to have in less than a week to have 1,000 people standing there with their hands up, going, Todd, what do you need me to do?
Yeah. Love
I've
it.
never had that.
No,
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So thank God that people like Suzanne and Arlene and D.H. Lewis and Chris Singleton and Jose Alvarez and Jose Masonette and Whitney Money and all these guys, Christian Stokes, everybody just kind of jumps in, and they're like going, dude, what can we do?
Wow.
Yeah. And now we got this whole product placement thing that we're doing for the film to try and put additional monies to it.
And they will. It's all about,
It just builds, and everybody's just amazing. We got each other's backs, which is something that I wanted to be able to have as a group, have a big group of people that everybody has each other's backs. Nobody's there for themselves. Everybody's there for the work and each other. And that to me is a big, big deal.
Yes.
And that is not something that I ever thought I would ever see happen.
Incredible.
If I can ask the next question too, this is actually kind of a combo question, and it's actually coming from my son, who has been inspired to make films himself. You were saying that you started at 11 years old, and that was one of the questions, was what inspired you to be a filmmaker to begin with?
I just used to watch. I used to watch Wide World of Disney, and I actually wanted to be, or not Wide World, Wonderful World of Disney. And I actually wanted to be an animator because I've been drawing since I was old enough to hold a pencil.
That would be my son. How great is that?
Yeah. So I wanted to be an animator, but then as I got older, the animating thing was my patience went from this down to this. So the animating thing just kind of fell off to the side. But I made a film when I was in early in high school with this camera that my grandmother gave me, and it was a box camera. It was literally
those great ones, yeah.
And it was literally a rectangle. I mean, it was like this big. There was nothing to it. It had a viewfinder and it had a lens. That's it. And we made a trailer for our own James Bond comedy movie called Gold Toe. And
cool.
That was kind of like the beginning of it, and then kind of just went from there. I mean, got better. I took some Saturday classes at the Art Center College of Design, and learned a lot more from there. And then my directing teacher that I had for a good number of years. His name is Jim Pasternak. He's actually a teacher over at the Los Angeles Film School. Look up Jim Pasternak, one of the best damn directing teachers on the planet. He taught me about how to appreciate filmmaking, how to appreciate drama, how to, that action movies are not the only thing out there. I mean, this is a man that introduced, you know, movies to me to look at in a whole new way. So, you know, it's, you know,
I'm glad that you're
he's the one
reflecting
that
back
gave
on
me,
that,
that built the passion. You know, he's the reason why I'm over here going, you know, F Hollywood, you know?
Yeah, but we're not, I mean, there's...
I want to make movies. I don't care,
about the
you know,
glitz.
if the money comes to me, great. If I make $1 million off of it, bonus.
Yeah, no, and we love. I mean, I love LA. I love, you know, Hollywood. There's pros and cons like anywhere else. But you know, like you're the gentleman you just mentioned right now, you know, from LA, the film school. I mean, there's a lot of angels. We don't want our viewers to get, you know, think that there's not. We're just talking about the segment that it's very hard if you're an actress, actor, you know, director, producer. It's very hard to do business with the, you know, the big studios. Just kind of take a lot of that away from us. That are really, you know,
they take a lot of stuff away from the little people.
Right,
you know?
But there are good people in LA. There are good people in Hollywood. There are people. There are a lot of angels that I myself have found that have kind of, you know, continuously been there for me. But anyways, okay, let's go to the second half of the question, Todd.
So the second half of that question was, what advice would you have to give to people like your daughters and future young filmmakers?
Probably the advice I would just have is, don't give up. You know, don't worry about where you're going to get the money from. That was something I actually learned from Francis Ford Coppola a long time ago. Don't worry about where the money's coming from. I mean, if you've got $100 to make your movie, you need to make that $100 look like it was $1 million. You know, I did a movie with a good friend of mine, Melody Jackson, who's the owner of Smart Girls Productions down in LA, and she does a lot of she helps actors with their resumes and whatnot. And we had $2,000 that we made a film with called High Hopes. That $2,000, we took that $2,000, and people looking at our film thought that we spent about $200,000.
Wow.
It's all in how you, you know, and do yourself a favor. Don't, if you've got a video camera, use your video camera like a film camera. Set up your shots. Don't do the handheld thing like this. You know, don't do this. You know, learn how to hold your camera. Learn about your angles. Put your camera in, you know, come up with new angles. You know, do something different.
Innovative,
But don't make it look like, you know, don't just do, you know, a shot that you look at and you go, wow, it looks like, you know, Joe Blow shot it with his handy cam. You can make a very inexpensive camera look like you spent a ton of money.
Yeah, no, I believe it, especially with the technology.
The new software,
yes.
That's out there.
Okay.
There's so much stuff that you can do. I mean, as long as you put the camera in the right place and you know where that 180-degree line is, and you've got good actors, you know, you can have $100 and make a movie look like you spent, you know, $200,000. I mean, I'm living proof of that.
Yep.
You are, Todd. And wait, Todd, I think do we have one more question?
Yeah, I just have a thank you to the people. I've gotten messages on Twitter and on my inbox. So some people do my inbox instead of Twitter because there's some people that don't have Twitter. So I just want to thank everybody for their questions.
Thank you, and thank you, Todd, for, I know we were going to meet in Los Angeles yesterday evening, and so thank you that Arlene put this together for us so we can come together, and little did we know that we already have met, we were running in the same circles. It's amazing on how we were brought together. So thank you to everyone that has tuned in, all the Todd Braley viewers and fans. Thank you, Todd, for bringing them into Kristina Kristina Hagan Live. I appreciate that you guys joined the crowd. That's the little yellow button so you can watch all the future shows. We hope to have another interview with Todd in the future. And also, I think, Todd, you gave a lot of tips to our viewers. I really appreciate your candidness. I like to end my show with a tip of the day. And before I do that, I just want to let you know that we are putting together a Glamorize with Kristina Hagan Live, where we'll be able to get together and do a little mingle with wine and hors d'oeuvres, and we'll do glamour shots and a lot of foo-foo type of stuff, which will be lots of fun. Keep an eye out for that. And I wanted to share for my tip of the day. This is Camille. It's a hand lotion, and I love to just share things that work for me, Todd, because I'm a real person and I think it's all about helping people. But I've gone through so many lotions throughout my lifetime, and it's from Germany, and really it keeps my hands nice and supple. Okay, so thank you, Arlene, for bringing Todd and I together, and thank you to everyone that are supporting. They're supporting Todd here. Keep it going. Keep up the support strong.
Watch more of Kristina's shows. I've watched 5 of them. They're great.
Yay! Yay! Yeah, I'm working on getting a little HD camera too, because I know sometimes I have those little
Difficulties, yeah.
Difficulties. That's a new word. Difficulties. No, difficulties.
Only on Kristina Hagan Live show would you ever hear those kind of words.
Difficulties. So thank you for being patient with me, and we just look at this, what just came to me. So God is great. God bless you. Dios te bendiga. And signing out from Kristina Hagan Live. Todd, would you like to say goodbye?
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all. Love you all on the China White fan page.
And all the new fans.
Kristina Hagan Live. Bye.